Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss the legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedoms and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, the President and General Counsel of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country in the courtrooms of America. Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedoms.
President Obama threw Israel under the bus, but Benjamin Netanyahu didn't stay there for long. Hi, I'm Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel and dean of Liberty University School of Law. Joining me is Matt Barber, vice president of Liberty Counsel Action and associate dean for the law school at Liberty. Matt, this particular speech by President Barack Obama on the eve of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu coming to America literally was unprecedented. He said that Israel ought to go back to the 1967 borders. If you look at that on a map, it's absolutely ridiculous because there's no way that Israel could defend itself if you did that. And if you've ever been to Israel, and particularly if you've gone to the West Bank or the Golan Heights, if you just gave back the Golan Heights, you would destabilize Israel. They would have no chance against the radical Hamas. This is just unprecedented, and he threw Israel and the prime minister under the bus, but Bibi Netanyahu, and congratulations to him, didn't stay there for very long because when he met with President Barack Obama, he shot back and said, that's just a non-starter.
Rarely do you get an opportunity to see such a contrast in character and such a contrast in leadership. He wasted no time, Benjamin Netanyahu, whatsoever, in coming out and saying, using the word, he said to Mr. Obama, this is not going to happen. And he also said accurately that those lines, those 1967 borders, are indefensible. No president has ever publicly requested that Israel go back to these indefensible borders. And, you've heard some liberal media say that Benjamin Netanyahu was disrespectful. Talk about disrespectful to the state of Israel and to the Jewish people. President Obama has shown over and over again, Matt, clearly where he stands, I believe, in this ongoing battle between radical Islam and the state of Israel. President Obama has sided over and over again with Islamists, and he is doing so again here. And the day before Benjamin Netanyahu comes to visit with him, he makes this really deplorable speech. And Benjamin Netanyahu comes out, and the two were sitting there. If anybody saw the press conference in the Oval Office with President Obama, Benjamin Netanyahu there, the media has complained that Benjamin Netanyahu treated President Obama, talked to him like a schoolboy, talked down to him. He did talk to him a bit like a schoolboy, but President Obama needed to be educated. President Obama sat there and looked. He had no idea.
It's ridiculous. No president has asked for the return to the 1967 border. The closest one that came to it, but he didn't even do that, was President Jimmy Carter. But no president has gone back to the 1967 border. So Obama says, well, this was just reiterating what we have said before. No, it's not. This is unprecedented language from a United States president to our closest ally. You would think that we're more allied with some of the Islamic countries, the way the president's administration acts, as opposed to Israel, which is our close ally. In fact, one of the things that Anita and I were thinking was, and in fact we saw it on the website recently from the internet, it would be like some foreign country, their president, telling America that we ought to return to the mid-1800s border with Mexico. Because Mexico at one time controlled not only all of where we have the southern part of New Mexico and up around the west coast, and that was something that we took from Mexico back in the 1800s. So what if some president from some other country said, to resolve some of the drug conflicts between the United States and Mexico, you just need to give Mexico the land that you took from them back in the 1800s.
Except it's worse than that, because for the analogy to be completely accurate, Mexico would have to deny the United States' right to even exist, and have many in the Mexican government say that they will destroy and kill all of the American people. That would be even more accurate, because that is, in fact, what Hamas believes, that Israel doesn't even have a right to exist, that the Jewish people were brought, one of the government officials that with Hamas actually said that the Israeli people, Allah brought the Israeli people and put them all in that tight location there so that they could be slaughtered by the Palestinian people.
Yeah, and we have a long-standing policy that we do not negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah.
And Hamas is currently listed as a terrorist organization in the United States. And what we're saying is that Israel ought to violate our own policy and negotiate with terrorists, and not only negotiate with terrorists like Hamas, but they ought to give back significant portions of their land and destabilize the entire nation. In fact, if you go back and you give away those east and west portions of Israel, or the West Bank of Israel, you end up, I think, with a 9-mile strip of land.
That's it.
And, Israel would just simply be overrun. If you gave away the northern parts of Israel, the Golan Heights, then you would allow the radical Islamists to be able to have those strategic outposts, and those missiles that are located there on top of those mountains could easily go right into Jerusalem. It would literally destabilize Israel. It would be the beginning of their end.
Well, it would put Israel back in the exact situation it was in 1967, and people, we seem to be forgetting in all the discussion here that it was Israel that was attacked from all sides by Egypt and Jordan, and all of these Islamist governments got together, attacked Israel in the Six-Day War. I mean, Israel wiped them out in 6 days, defended itself, and took ground in defense, actually took more ground, and that's where the 67 borders were set up after they were attacked. So now they're saying, give it back? We attacked you, give it back.
Israel actually had additional land in the southern part in the Egyptian Delta there, and they gave that back in the mid-'70s. So they've already given back some
land. They made
land.
Concessions, and concessions I frankly believe they needn't make.
They shouldn't have made them because it didn't bring peace.
No.
You cannot negotiate with terrorists who want you to simply cease to exist. I mean, that's their ultimate end goal. They are terrorists, and terrorist means that they want to destroy you, and they want to terrify you, and in Israel's case, they want to obliterate you. To give them any portion of the land is absolute suicide for Israel.
And it's not just Hamas we're talking about here. I mean, Iran, many of the Islamist governments and government officials are calling for Israel to be wiped out. This is not something new. This is something that has been going on for thousands of years, frankly. And certainly the upheaval, the battle continues. And people draw this moral equivalence between Israel defending itself after being attacked with terrorists blowing themselves up in schoolyards and in pizza parlors, killing innocent men, women, and children. Israel just wants to exist in peace by themselves, without threat of terrorism from all borders. That continues. And yet President Obama, again, Matt, shows where apparently his loyalties lie, throwing Israel under the bus. I wonder if there won't be some pretty significant blowback from this, from the Jewish voters, with President Obama showing this kind of, and there's really no other word for it, anti-Semitism.
It really is, I think, and clearly I think it's not going to sit well with the majority of Jewish voters here in the country. Many of them do vote on more liberal issues, but still I think this particular issue would not sit very well with them, and I think they see right through it. In fact, AIPAC had to send a letter, an announcement to the attendees at the AIPAC conference in Washington, D.C., to respect the president when he spoke.
Not to boo.
Not to boo, yeah. And so that's pretty unprecedented that they would have to try to calm the audience down before the president even spoke to AIPAC. I spoke to some friends in Israel just a few days ago, and obviously the Israelis are up in arms over President Obama's message. I'll be visiting Israel for a program that we're setting up in June, and we'll be setting up a program with some academic college there and also an ambassador program that we're working on So we look forward to going over there and meeting with some of the Israelis and the government officials. But pray for Israel. God, the scriptures say that whoever blesses Israel, God will bless as well. America has been a longtime ally of Israel, and Israel is our main ally in the Middle East. We cannot throw them under the bus, and we need to pray for Israel and pray for the peace of Israel. Give Liberty Counsel a call at 1-800-671-1776. My new revised and reprinted book from our new Revolution publishers, Take Back America, is now available. For a contribution, we'll give that book to you right away. You can order it at Liberty Counsel's website, lc.org. That's lc.org, or call 1-800-671-1776 and ask for the book, Take Back America. That's the book, Take Back America, lc.org.
You have been listening to Matt Staver of Liberty Counsel. Our hope is to encourage and inspire you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedoms. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email update. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.